Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukenessmonster, and this is episode 26 of our Astroneer playthrough. And in this episode, I really want to get things going. I want to start to go to each planet, activating a gateway, as well as the core, and finally get the mysterious satellite activated. And so I actually did some research, and I found this little chart for the amount of power each gateway takes to activate. And according to the chart, Silva takes 5 units of power, Desolo takes 8 units of power, Calidor takes 6 units of power, Visania is 16, Novus is 21, Glacio is 26, and Atrox is a whopping 30 units of power. And for example, one of these little QTRTGs is 1 unit of power. So if I wanted to power the gateway on Atrox, it would take 30 of these things. And so in this video, I do want to go ahead and start by creating a device that I can pretty much take to each planet and automatically power these gateways. And then from there, I do want to actually go ahead and start activating gateways, going from planet to planet and activating each one, and then maybe starting a little bit of a base there while I'm doing that, so we'll see. But right now we are going to kind of start off by finding a way to measure power, and by doing that we actually need a splitter. And so a splitter here takes 1 copper and 1 graphite, so not too hard to make. Let's go ahead and grab the resources to make a splitter. We do have some graphite here, so I'll grab that. But it looks like we are all out of copper at the moment, so I will have to go and get some copper. Or I could just trade for some here, which I might actually do. Let me see. It's 1 for 1. Give me 6 copper. Yeah, I'll do that. Alrighty, so we got our malachite here. Let's throw this on the smelter real quick. There we go, we're getting the splitter printed, and this will help us figure out essentially how much power something is giving us. Okay, so we got our splitter plugged into this platform here, and as you can see, it's tracking how much power is going into the platform here. And as you can see, there is 0 units of power right now. If we throw on one of these QTRTGs, it's giving us 1 unit of power. Now if you read the little thing here on a battery, you can see that it stores 32 units of power and produces 1 unit of power per second. So essentially, it'll hold a charge for about 32 seconds. So if I throw it on here, you can see again, only 1 unit of power. If we want to be able to power Atrox, we need to get this all the way up to 30. Now if we plug this into our base, you can see that the solar panels that we have active are actually generating 430 units of power, which is a huge amount of power. And so that's why I love going the solar farm route here, because it just produces an unfathomable amount of power. And so obviously though, the problem is we can't bring 28 huge solar panels from planet to planet, and so this isn't going to work for what we want to do. We need to make something that is portable, preferably on a tower like this, and I think that's something we can do. So one thing I do really want to test out is how much a battery tower here can generate me. So a battery tower like this is actually generating me 24 units of power, which unfortunately is not 30. So the problem we're actually going to run into is just finding a device that's dense enough to be able to power, but still dense enough for us to be able to take it around and throw in our shuttle and move from planet to planet. So now I do have this one, which has half batteries and like half solar panels and half wind turbines and everything. And obviously this one's only like 1610. It kind of fluctuates, so this one is obviously not going to be the way. I think the battery tower might be the way to go. Now, theoretically, what I could do, I actually have 6 QTRTGs here, which I can carry on my back at all times. And so then I could bring this thing along with me, and all I would have to do is unload all of these here QTRTGs, plug them all into each other, and now this does generate our 31 units of power, which is plenty to get Atrox powered. But honestly, if we're just looking at this battery tower alone, it generates 24 units of power, which is actually plenty to get us all the way up through Novus. The only 2 that doesn't work on 24 units of power is Glacia, which is 26, and Atrox, which is 30. So honestly, I think this is the route we're gonna go, is we're gonna bring this as well as all of these with us as well. Okay, so now theoretically, I can have all 6 of these QTRTGs on my back, plus the medium platform that this battery tower sits on. I can hold this, and I can use my hoverboard, and I can get anywhere around the planet that I want. And this could power literally any single gateway in the game. With my oxygenator here, I actually don't need to be hooked up to a tether either. And so this is completely portable, and I can literally go anywhere that I want right now and power any gateway in the game, and I'll be just fine. So right now what we are actually going to do is we're going to unload our shuttle here, because we don't need to bring a rover with us. We don't need the drill and all of this stuff with us at the moment. But what we will need to bring with us is, of course, the medium storage silo. Everything else that we need is on my backpack. Now, one thing we are going to need is I kind of want to be able to start a base on each of the planets that I visit. And so that way, I believe one of the achievements here that I can unlock, is actually by placing a starting, shelter, or a landing pad on each one of these planets, which I only have Atrox, Novus, and Visania left to do anyway, so we only have 3 planets left. But that way it'll actually allow me to essentially load up the rest of my shuttle here with base building items like a landing pad or shelter, platforms, smelters, anything that you need for a base. It allows me to actually fill this up with, and then I can start a base on each of the planets that I visit. But yeah, so I think that's going to work out pretty well, and I think right now we're going to get ready to go to a few different planets to start. I think in this episode we're actually going to do, I think we're just going to start with Desolo. We haven't activated anything on Desolo yet, but we're going to have to activate the gateway as well as the core. But one big thing we're going to need to do is we need a lot of fuel. We're almost out of fuel on our shuttle here, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some ammonium here, and we are going to start putting our ammonium here on the chemistry lab so we can make some hydrazine. We can keep on making it. I think we're going to make at least three canisters of hydrazine here, like I said, so we can fully fill up our shuttle and get as many launches as possible. Now, there is something I want to try. I have like a half-used bottle of hydrazine over here, and I want to see if I put this on the chemistry lab over here, if it'll actually use it up and treat it as one full thing. So I'm going to put this in my backpack, and we're going to give it the used bottle of hydrazine here. Oh, and it totally works. So theoretically you can use an entire thing of hydrazine, then put it on a soil centrifuge or on a chemistry lab like this and get a full other use out of it too. So that is super cool. So we got our drill mod 3, let's create that. And now theoretically with all of this here, we are ready to go to another planet. So I think we're gonna do Desolo first. Let's hop in and head to Desolo. And this one is quite convenient because our landing pad is right next to the gateway, so that works out pretty well. We're not going to have to travel very far. And straight up what I'm going to do is we're just going to take this hoverboard right over here, so not very far. Oh, that was almost really cool. We're going to get our battery tower here as well as our platform. And since this one isn't one of the more expensive planets, we actually don't need to get out any of our QTRTGs. We can just throw this on here and wait for it to charge. And there we go. As you can see now, we have activated this gateway, so next up, it's just straight down to the core. What I'm actually going to do, we're going to take this, we're going to fly this right back over to our base here. Right now, we're just going to head down to the core and get this thing activated. So let's just pick a nice little spot and let's head down. We're gonna dig straight down into the core. And here we are. We can throw our zinc on here. And grab our little node. And we're gonna ride the wall up here all the way to this thing. And we can activate Desolo. Now, I will say one thing. I didn't even think about bringing a second zinc so I could take an extra node with me, because obviously I do want to activate the satellite. So, didn't really think about that. Now that we got our extra zinc, we can actually head back over to this thing here and head back to the core. And so now I want to go to the satellite from here. And so, oh shoot, I did not want to go to the satellite. I did not want to go to... Oh no. I'm not going to be able to get back. Oh no. Wait, I can get back. Okay, so I can't get... Then why do I even need to put it on this thing? I don't get it. Okay, well, we're going to head back real quick. And so we are going to throw our second zinc on here. That way we can get another geometric trippy arc, I don't know. We can get another one of those things. And now we can head to the satellite. And of course from here we can actually put it on the satellite and activate another ring. And there we go. So that is going to do it for this episode of Astroneer. If you guys did enjoy, the like button and subscribe, and make sure to stick around while we go and we activate each one of the planets and moons in Astroneer, and we get closer to beating the game. So if you guys did enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.